Hey guys, well I'm back with a new underrated list video. And it's kind of a funny thing because my first video of 2014 was also an underrated video list. But it's like, since I've been like basically suffering from like a video block, I haven't been thinking of many new videos, so like don't have many ideas, so I thought I'd do another underrated one. But I do have like more ideas for new videos later on in the future. And I also gotta make a little announcement at the end of this video. It's nothing bad though, so to my viewers and my subscribers, I'm gonna say it's nothing bad. It's not like I'm quitting doing these videos, because I'm not. So like, if you're worried, don't be. It's actually something that's pretty good, so you'll be happy after I make the announcement. Okay, so now let's just start with these underrated movies. Now the first one, oh, I should actually also mention this is my third underrated videos. So maybe in the future I'll do a fourth one as well if I suffer from video block as well, like I've been doing for the past couple months. So maybe I will. So the first one I got is Do You Like Hitchcock? This is a TV movie directed by Dario Argento, who's one of my favorite horror directors. Yeah, so like this is a good movie, and it's also a recent movie as well, since a lot of people claim that his recent stuff isn't that good. But this one's definitely a good one. So I just really liked how Dario Argento captured the atmosphere, like the suspense of Alfred Hitchcock's movies, as well as put like some of his touch, like of his movies, in this as well. I only have two gripes: is that the beginning part of the movie went nowhere, even though the main character does have a nightmare about it later in the movie. And also the acting was pretty bad. Other than that, I liked it, so. Another one I also got over here, it's a movie that was directed by Sean S. Cunningham, the director of Friday the 13th and Deep Star 6. So like, this is underrated because I don't really hear much about this movie. I didn't really know about it until like last year. So like, this is a good movie directed by Sean S. Cunningham. It kind of reminded me of The Abyss because it's like a movie set underwater, an underwater base. So it's like these people that like this drill team that drills a hole in underwater and uncovers an alien life form. So it's sort of like a horror version of The Abyss. So this is definitely a good movie, worth checking out. Another one I also got is, this is a remake made by the Texas Chainsaw Massacre director Tobe Hooper, and it's his remake of Invaders from Mars. This is a movie that stars Karen Black, who I like. I remember her from Trilogy of Terror. So I really liked this one. Like, it's I mean, it's not as good as the original Invaders from Mars, but it's a good remake. I liked the alien effects. I liked the practical effects for these aliens, cause it was done by Stan Winston, and the leader alien kind of reminded me of Krang. Looked just like Krang from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. He's a little bit right here. So, oh, it's a good movie, good remake. And you probably knew this was going to be on here. I did a review of this movie last year because my YouTube friend Nigel Burrows recommended this movie to me, and so I watched it and liked it actually. And it's Brain Scan. So this is a good movie. It's a very underrated movie. Doesn't really get much attention. And so it stars Edward Furlong from Terminator 2 and Pet Sematary 2, and he does a pretty good job. And also T. Ryder Smith, the one who plays the trickster in this, also does a really good job. He's the one who like steals the show in this movie. And I also just like the whole story, how it's like, this video game, and whatever you do in the game also happens in real life. I like that whole thing. So it's a good movie. And another one, it's from the director James Wan, who'd made Saw, Insidious, and The Conjuring. And so it's Dead Silence. So like, I really did enjoy this movie. And the funny thing is, like, before I saw it, I heard like it got terrible reviews, but I was still seeing it though because I like James Wan. And so I checked out and I was like, really? This got bad reviews? I don't know. I really did like it. I mean, I will admit though that there were times it did drag, so it got kind of boring at times, but other than that, I didn't like it. I mean, it's got some really good atmosphere, really good cinematography. And also the ventriloquist dummies in this were pretty creepy looking. I mean, those scenes where they're like moving their heads by themselves and their eyes as well. It's actually a pretty creepy look. The Jigsaw puppet also is in this as like a little background extra. So I liked it. And here's another movie that's directed by Jeff Burr. And the funny thing is I put a couple of his movies on my first underrated video. And so I thought I'd put this on there too because it's definitely underrated. It's Pumpkinhead 2 Blood Wings. So I really liked this one. It was pretty good. I will admit though that the effects for Pumpkinhead in this one weren't as good as the effects in the first one. Well, because the first one was directed by Stan Winston, so he's a professional. Well, I should say was, because he unfortunately passed away a few years back. May he rest in peace. But he was a professional visual effects artist. So like the effects for Pumpkinhead in the one he made were obviously really good. Effects in this one, well, they weren't bad, but they just weren't as good as the effects in the first movie. Because like the Pumpkinhead in this looks pretty rubbery looking, but the gore effects though were pretty good. And the guy who played the dad in the first Hellraiser is in this. He does pretty good. I also do like how when Pumpkinhead killed his victims in this one, he was leaving like these symbols made out of his victims' blood of like wings, hence the title, Blood Wings. Yeah, so it's definitely worth checking out, definitely pretty good. And here's another underrated movie directed by Dario Argento. And this is a movie that got like mixed responses, like by both critics and Dario Argento fans alike. And this is actually the third movie in his Three Mothers trilogy, and it's Mother of Tears. So like the first one being Suspiria, the second one being Inferno, and this one is the third one. I mean, like, and the funny thing is, like, since I've been mentioning, as mentioned actually before, that some of his new stuff wasn't that good. Like, for an example, his Phantom of the Opera movie, very bad. And to me, it's his worst movie he's made. But I did see, like, some people did find this movie to be an exception out of, like, his recent stuff. So, like, I actually did like it for what it was. I mean, like, it's not as good as Suspiria and Inferno, but it's still good. It's still a good addition to the trilogy. I mean, like, this movie stars Asia Argento, who's Dario Argento's real-life daughter. And I just know her from Triple X as well, so, I mean, I think she's a good actress, so she did pretty good in this movie. So, like, it didn't have that same feel as Suspiria and Inferno. It didn't have that same look. I mean, it's modernized and all, but the gore effects, though, were pretty good. The imagery was pretty good, too, and cinematography was also good, but that's expected out of a Dario Argento movie. And it's also, overall, just an entertaining movie, so I liked it. And here's an underrated movie directed by the godfather of zombies himself, George A. Romero, and it's Monkey Shines. It's like, and the funny thing is, like, this movie, when it first came out, it did badly. It got bad reviews and even bombed at the box office. But since then, it's been, like, claimed as one of George Romero's best movies, along with his Of the Dead series, Martin, Night Riders, Creepshow, The Dark Half. And so this is up there along with all those movies. I mean, this movie is, of course, about this guy who goes out for a jog and then accidentally gets hit by a truck, and so he then gets paralyzed from the neck down, and he's given this monkey to help take care of him until, like, basically him and the monkey start, like, turning on each other. Like, the monkey starts, like, killing, and I just think maybe at the time, maybe, like, people couldn't take this movie seriously, like a little monkey killing people, because people probably think, like, it's a little monkey. I could have taken a little monkey that size. Although they explain, like, how the monkey is able to outsmart people is because this monkey's been, like, was being experimented on. Like, he was given these injections to boost his intelligence, so he was becoming smart. So, I actually liked this movie. And I thought I'd put this movie on for my friend Steve because he really liked this movie. Me in particular, it wasn't that good. It wasn't bad by any means, though. And it's Annabelle. So I'm putting this on my underrated list because it wasn't a bad movie overall. I mean, it wasn't that good either. So, like, it mainly wasn't that good because, like, since this is a prequel to The Conjuring, which was the best horror movie of 2013, which was a very creepy and pretty scary movie overall, this movie just well, it just wasn't scary. I mean, like, the scares in this movie were mainly just jump scares. But there was this one scene that took place in an elevator. Like, the elevator scene was actually well done. That scene was the least creepy, though. And also the atmosphere and cinematography were really good. Well, the director of this movie is a professional cinematographer. Like, he did the cinematography for Dead Silence, for Insidious, and The Conjuring. So he's worked with James Wan. That's how he got the job directing this movie. So, like, the look of the movie was good, but the scares were just pretty weak. And the dialogue was pretty weak, too. I just think, like, the scares in this movie were ruined by the trailers. Like, if you saw the trailer, then all the scares are basically ruined. But all in all, it wasn't a bad movie, though. It's worth checking out, though. And here's a movie that also got terrible reviews. But when I saw it, I liked it. Although when I rewatched it, though, I can see some problems it has, though. And it's The Thing. This is the prequel to the John Carpenter movie. I mean, I liked it because I really liked the whole lead-ins to the John Carpenter movie. Like, the end of this movie literally leads right into the beginning of the John Carpenter movie. And I also did like the creature designs for The Thing as well. So I really liked also how it explained like all the stuff got there. Like, because in the John Carpenter movie, they like go to that Norwegian base camp and they see things like a fire axe, a bloody fire axe. In a wall, they see this dead body who has like frozen skin and his throat is cut open. They also find a really big block of ice, looks like it's been all broken up. So all that stuff's explained through this movie, so I liked that, so it was an interesting story. I will say, though, that the characters in this were just pretty forgettable. They weren't really developed well because, in a way, maybe the writers were like thinking, like, these characters you obviously know these characters are just going to die, so we're not going to develop them that well. I don't know. I think you still need to develop your characters, even if you know they're going to die, because, like, maybe you can, like, feel bad for these characters dying after you develop them, but since you didn't really develop them well, you basically could care less that they die. So it was just... So since you know the characters are all just going to die because it's a prequel to the first movie, much like many prequels, it's predictable. So it's a predictable movie. And also even though most of the CGI in this movie was pretty good, some of it though was a little... But like, I did say like I do like the creature designs though in this. And what was I going to say? Like I did say, like I did like the lead-ins as well. So, like it's had like very good continuity with the John Carpenter movie. Pretty good, very well connected. Since like there's some prequels that have like those plot holes that don't make any sense. This one didn't have that, so it's like almost perfect in that sense. Not a perfect movie, but I liked it though. Another one is The Town That Dreaded Sundown. Now take a look at that over there. Tell me what you think. Yeah, you probably think of Jason from Friday the 13th Part 2. But it's like, if you're going to say like, this movie ripped that off, it's actually the other way around. Friday the 13th Part 2 ripped this movie off because this movie was made in the 50s, while Friday the 13th Part 2 was made in 1981. And I just really liked how this movie was made like a documentary. Like it's basically it's like a very realistic movie, very well documented horror story. Because like the Phantom Killer, who's this guy over here, was actually a real life killer who was never identified, never caught. So if you were to like maybe do research on the Phantom Killer, you'll not find any pictures of him because he was never caught. You only find pictures of him from this movie. Like the only thing they had to work with was this description made by like one of the survivors of an attack by him. Yeah. But like I did like this movie. It's definitely got like it's like the Phantom Killer in this movie himself was just pretty scary looking. Like take a look at that right over there. Yeah, that's pretty scary. Or that right over there. Yeah, that's pretty scary. Yeah, so I liked it. And here's another movie I saw in the theater on its first day. I saw it with two friends. I liked it. One friend liked it, and one friend hated it. And it's Chernobyl Diaries. It's like, this is a movie that did get critically panned. It was actually like, this movie was written and produced by Oren Peli, the man who's behind the Paranormal Activity series, which I'm a fan of. It was actually his first movie that was critically panned. The second one being Paranormal Activity 4. And the latest Paranormal Activity, the marked ones, got like mixed things. Like, some people liked it, some people hated it. Personally, I did like it since I put it on my list of best horror movies of 2014. But I really did like this movie. I mean, I really liked the atmosphere and the sets, locations for Chernobyl. I mean, it wasn't really filmed in Chernobyl, but it looked like it was, though. And it was only made with $1 million. So with that kind of a budget, I mean, it felt like it was a bigger budget because of all the locations and all the sets for this movie. And I also really did like the cinematography, the camera work in this movie, because it felt like a documentary, almost like a found footage movie. I will say, though, that the first half of the movie was better than the second half, since the second half was just mostly just running. Like, the first half was like, basically them going to Chernobyl and then basically becoming trapped in that place while radiation levels are getting high. I also did like how we don't get a good look at the mutants in this movie, because Oren Peli has said that his movies are all about the fear of the unknown. That's one of the reasons why we don't see the demon in any of the Paranormal Activity movies, because otherwise it just wouldn't really be all that scary. Like, I think it's probably more scary that you don't know where the demon is. And also, we've taken away the suspense of the Paranormal Activity series, and after this movie has like, a lot of suspense. Yeah, so, I really did like this movie. I mean, it's not perfect, but I like it. And you probably would think this would be on there too, because, I'm a huge Sleepaway Camp fan. And it's Return to Sleepaway Camp. Now, this actually was directed by the original director, Robert Hiltzik, who directed the first Sleepaway Camp. He didn't direct Sleepaway Camp 2 or 3, though. So, like, this is actually his second movie, like, his first one being the first Sleepaway Camp, so he's only directed Sleepaway Camp and Return to Sleepaway Camp. And so, like, I actually really liked this one when I saw it. I mean, I will say, like, I've watched this movie a few times, and, like, after, like, rewatching it, yeah, there's some problems, but I still do like it. I mean, I just really liked how, like, 3 of the original cast members came back, all reprising roles after 20 years. And I also did like how it had, like, a feel of an 80s horror movie. Like, it brought back, like, the feel of the original Sleepaway Camp. It wasn't all comedic like Sleepaway Camp 2 and 3 were. Like, it was more taken seriously. And I also did like the death scenes in this movie. Like, death scenes were actually the best things in this movie. And yeah, like, I did say it's not perfect, because, like, the main kid in this movie was very annoying. You just basically do not like that character. And also, like, the acting was pretty bad too, but I'm not too sure if the acting was bad intentionally. Like, maybe we wanted the acting to be bad because, like 80s horror movies had bad acting in them too, so maybe it was do that. Maybe it was intentional, but I don't know, though. Maybe it was, or maybe the actors just weren't good. And but I also just liked well, I just say I did like the death scenes. The gore effects were pretty good too. And, like, well, this one had actually the biggest budget out of all the Sleepaway Camp movies. It was a bigger budget than the first movie and second one and third one. So yeah, I actually really did like this one. And to me, it's the best Sleepaway Camp sequel. Another one is Howling 5. This is technically a double pack of Howling 5 and 6. Howling 6 was okay, but Howling 5 is the one I want to talk about, because, like, it's one of, like, the only real good Howling sequels, because really none of the sequels were really any good. I mean, like, the only real good Howling movie was the first one, and this one was, like, the only good one. I mean, the only good sequel. Like, I just really liked the look of the werewolf in this movie. I really liked the setting, how it's, like, set in a castle. I really liked the atmosphere. I really liked the gore effects. But the acting, though, was terrible, though, and that really stuck out. Like, that's the thing that just really stuck out to me. I was like saying like, you know, okay, I like all this stuff, but then, oh, bad acting. And the acting didn't improve, I might add, as the movie went on. It was just pretty bad all the way through. But other than that, though, it's the best Howling sequel. So I'd say, like, you know, yeah, it's an overall good Howling sequel, an overall pretty good one. Alright, now this is the last video the last movie I'm gonna put on this video. And after this, I'm gonna make my announcement. And last one is Aliens vs. Predator Requiem. So this is the one that got terrible reviews, like the ones that people like, you know, say like, you know, yeah, the first Alien vs. Predator movie was bad, but the second one was even worse. It was really bad. The only thing that was good was like the the end scene of the movie where where like all the action, all the fights, the creature effects were like the only good things. Yeah, I hear things like that all the time, but I don't know, I saw this movie in the theater with my dad, and I saw the first one with him as well. And me and my dad had the same opinion. We both liked this movie. We weren't really getting like I was getting bashed. Although I do see, like, you know, some problems since, like, basically I got older since I saw this movie in the theater, and also I've become a critic since then. So I'm gonna say it's not perfect, but I still like it though. I mean, like, I just really liked how this one took place directly after the first movie. I really liked the hybrid creature of the aliens and Predator, the Predalien that's called. And also, I just liked how it got its R rating back since the first movie was PG-13. So I wasn't a fan of the first movie. I didn't think the first movie was terrible, but I just didn't really care for it though. So I'd rather watch this than watch the first movie. And like, I just also liked how like it had that monster movie feel to it. I liked all the gore effects. It wasn't that much CGI. It was more practical. I liked that whole thing. The first one did have a bigger budget though, so this one had like a little bit of a lower budget than the first movie. And I also will say though that that like, you know, all the actors and actresses were just like, you know, unknowns, so that's kind of one of the reasons why I got bashed too. Like, you know, just unknown actors and actresses in these kind of roles. We don't need that. We need bigger names for this. I don't know. I didn't care that they cast unknowns. Didn't bother me. I also did like the fight scene between the Predator and the Predalien at the end, which was awesome. I liked how, like, you know, felt like it was a mix of Aliens and Predator. Like, well, Aliens, the second movie I'm talking about, and also the first Predator movie. I like that whole mix as well. I mean, like, you know, things I could criticize was, like, you know, the lighting was pretty bad. It was pretty dark. I could barely see anything. And I also wish that there was more than one Predator in it as well, since it was mainly just one Predator in the whole movie. Because the first movie had, like, you know, 3, but 2 of them get killed off right away, which I hated about the first movie. But yeah, other than that, I really did like this movie. Okay, so I think that wraps it up for this little list. But now I'm going to make my little announcement. But like I said, it's nothing bad though, so don't get worried. Okay, so I'm going to, like, you know, say there's going to be new videos coming pretty soon. But however, you will not find those new videos on this page though. Like, don't get me wrong though, there's still going to be new videos coming to this page yet. I will be doing some new videos, which will be collection videos that I'm going to do for like collections such as like a John Carpenter collection, a Wes Craven collection, a Dario Argento collection, a George A. Romero collection, a Tobe Hooper collection, like, you know, things like that, like, you know, collections done by like certain directors. I'll do those, but they will not be for a while though, because I gotta still like buy certain movies to do those videos. But there's going to be more reviews done by me, but not on my page. So it's going to be on my friend's page, who's Alexander Zuckerman. So I'll give you like the link to his YouTube page. It's going to be right down there. And so me and him and a couple other friends are going to be doing new videos. I'll be reviewing obscure horror movies. So I've already got a couple movies on my mind for those videos. And like, there's going to be another friend who's going to be doing reviews for Transformers stuff. And my friend Alex is going to be reviewing some like foreign movies and some unknown action movies, as well as some other stuff. Yeah, so I'm going to give you the link to his stuff right down there. Also, my friend Alex has done like some cartoons called Appliances, which is like based on his life. And so his cartoon, of course, it's a little badly drawn. He openly admits, like, I can't draw. It's like a funny thing. It's comedy stuff, so like, I'm going to give you that. So check out, like, his cartoons, Appliances, and also check out the upcoming reviews that's going to be on his page. So, me, a couple other friends are going to be doing reviews for that stuff. So you should all look forward to that. And unlike my previous reviews, unlike this video and my other videos, since I'm going to, like, say this. All these videos I've been doing aren't, like, scripted. I haven't, like, written them down on a piece of paper and to, like, say what I'm going to do. It's all being done up here. All the stuff I'm saying is all coming to my mind. That's the reason why sometimes I get nervous when I do these videos. And it's some of the times the reason why I stutter is because I'm saying things that come to my mind. I'm not scripting them. But these, though, will be scripted, so I don't think you'll be, like, seeing me, like, stutter or get nervous like what I've been doing in all my videos. And also, unlike in these videos, since I've been, like, showing these, like, holding up DVDs for these videos, I will not be doing that because my friend Alex could edit these videos, so he's going to be editing, like, maybe posters on, like, the side of these videos, on the side of the screen, like that. And also, they're going to be showing some clips of the movies, too. And so, I'm going to be watching some of these movies I'm going to be doing reviews on. It's going to be a painful thing for me, too, because these movies are very bad. So, I'm going to write down on paper what I'm going to, like, say. All the jokes I'm going to say. Alright, so, keep your eye out for those. They'll be coming very soon. And until next time, bye.